Okay, this video is actually going to be like all things Ghibli. Because, as you guys know, I was playing Wrath of the White Witch, and, well, I finished it. And I can't say I 100%ed it, I 99%ed it because I'm stuck on this one quest on the bounty hunts and errands, so again, I can't really get on Albion for his his OCD-ness anymore. But yes, as I kind of told you when I first did a review on that, considering I had started playing it, especially as I told you beforehand, apparently we're getting the second in the Ni no Kuni series ported to Switch in September. Ghibli did work on the game, and they did like a lot of the animation and stuff, and basically as you're playing through the game and you're seeing the story, the game pretty much does play as a Ghibli movie, just without that strong female protagonist. So spoiler alert, considering the whole thing with the White Witch / Queen, the White Witch, considering her backstory, that actually does kind of play as some of the things that Ghibli does do with their female leads. So it does kind of work out. But moving on. Anyway, kind of like as I said before, I kind of got my start with Studio Ghibli with, it was either Kiki's Delivery Service or Princess Mononoke, because it was one of those two movies that I first kind of fell in love with Studio Ghibli, even though I didn't know the whole Studio Ghibli franchise at the time. But then it was it wasn't until later with Spirited Away in 2001 when I learned, like, oh wait, there's this whole franchise. Because once I got Spirited Away, and then I was like, oh wait a minute, Kiki and Princess Mononoke, Princess Mononoke are part of this whole team. And then I started delving into like all the different movies and stuff, and went, oh. Though at that time I had also really kind of started getting into the whole anime aspect pretty deeply too. Speaking on that whole deal, I have just finished watching Earwig and the Witch, one of the latest in the Studio Ghibli archives, which apparently it's kind of gotten some bad reviews because Earwig and the Witch is actually the first Studio Ghibli movie to get a full 3D treatment, and from some of the reviews I've kind of read, because of that, apparently a lot of the classic Studio Ghibli look and feel, apparently according to the reviews, got lost. But actually when I watched it, maybe it's because I've watched Studio Ghibli so much, or maybe because I just sat through and played that game for so long and beat it, and was like staring at this animation for so long. But maybe it's because people weren't expecting the movie to be 3D, and they weren't seeing it. But when I was watching the movie, I was seeing the Studio Ghibli unique looks even in the 3D aspect. But also at the same time, as I've kind of pointed out to you guys before, when I was going through with my college stuff, even though at the time my university didn't have a animation degree, I was focusing on animation as my main aspect for my film video stuff. So I'm used to looking at animation and seeing and seeing a style, even if even if it translates from 2D to 3D, because I can look at the Disney and Pixar stuff and go, oh, this translates from the Disney 2D to 3D, and go, oh, that's Disney. Oh, that's Square Enix. From some of their early games, when they are, well, not early, but when they had some of their games that they had when they went, oh, we're going to do like this 2D style game, and I look at it and went, isn't this Square Enix? Because they just have this kind of like unique style, and you guys, I think some of you heavy duty gamers kind of get it, because I mean, sometimes you just look at this, you just see this usual art style going on in a particular fandom, and you kind of go, oh, this is blah blah. So it's like, I mean, I was watching it and I'm like, I don't get why they were saying they couldn't see the Studio Ghibli usual style. I'm looking at it and I can see it. I mean, maybe because they didn't expect it to be 3D, they couldn't. But then again, like I said, maybe it's because I've watched all the different Studio Ghibli movies, some quite a few times, and then, like I said, I've just pretty much have been playing Ni no Kuni for so long, and had just finished playing, and then switched over to this, and was like, okay, I don't get how they couldn't see the usual Ghibli style in this, but okay. Though, personally, if I have to give Earwig and the Witch a rating, keeping in mind that I am a Ghibli fan, I'd say 8.5-ish. So, I mean, there was, because they did kind of leave you with a pretty decent-sized cliffhanger, and I'm kind of like, really? Because I'm kind of like, really? We couldn't have her find out about that. You just have to leave that as a cliffhanger. For those of you who don't know, Earwig and the Witch, basically, this orphan girl gets adopted by a witch, and it's mainly because the witch wants an extra pair of hands at the house. Not that she wants to be a foster mom or anything, but as it kind of turns out, the little girl is actually the daughter of a witch, and apparently they know the witch is actually an old friend of the witch who adopts the girl, but apparently it never gets explained why, in the movie, why her mom put her in an orphanage. But it's pretty much like when she's dropping her off at the orphanage, she's like, this is for your safety, da 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 da. So, apparently it is like based off a book, so maybe it gets explained better in the book and stuff. So who knows? But other than that, I'm not kind of going into too much details, because I know some people might kind of go, ah! I'm like, okay, take a chill pill. And also, and if you guys were to ask me, like, which Ghibli movie is my favorite, I cannot honestly answer that. They are all so good. Though, I'd have to say like, if when it comes like to storyline or something, either Spirited Away or maybe well, maybe because it's like one of the ones that got me into it, Kiki. It's like between those two, because just as a thing. And I know like Kiki is like one of their early, like really like one of their really early Ghibli movies. But I just can't help it, because I mean, who can't help loving that adorable witch? And that honestly is kind of really it, guys, because at least for right now, I mean, well, hopefully the whole pandemic stuff will be taken care of soon. I mean, I know, like I said before in one of the other videos that's getting posted today, we're having issues with that Indian strain that apparently decided to make its way over here. So guys, be careful. But hopefully soon, once this all gets cleared up, maybe if I'm lucky, win the lottery, and if that happens, like I said, I'm gonna see if that Studio Ghibli theme park is up and running in Japan, because I really would like to visit that. If not, I'm checking out Mario Land. Of course, I have to get my passport first. But yeah, that's pretty much it, because I mean, whew. I mean, I think when it comes to Studio Ghibli and Hayao Miyazaki, we've all been touched in some way, because I mean, his stories are pretty much so iconic. With they all just touch us in some way, whether it be the the little underdog kind of winning something, or in the case of Us Girls, since he always has such a strong female protagonist in all his films, we all get touched in some way, and he always has such beautiful artwork, so it's just something to keep in mind, and hope that he continues to, well, we can't keep Miyazaki working forever, but at least hope that that Studio Ghibli will at least continue to keep stuff going for a while, even after Miyazaki-sensei decides to retire permanently. Because it's kind of funny. Apparently he says he's gonna retire, and then he keeps coming back. So we just kind of have to wait and see on that one. Anyway, bye guys.